What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix new series, The Queen of Villains. Let's rock this. I gotta be honest with you. At the beginning, I had no idea that this was actually based on a true story. So as soon as I was halfway through watching the first episode, I was wondering, could this be based on real actual people? And then I looked it up. Voila! Turns out it is. And that makes the story all the more interesting. And if I were to describe the Queen of Villains, the adjective I'd use is wild, wild, wild. The timing of the Queen of Villains could not be more perfect. There seems to be a resurgence of wrestling dramas going around. We had the Iron Claw last year, which was about the Von Erich family. And even though Stars canceled Heels, the show finds a new fan base now that it's streaming on Netflix. But of course, the closest comparison to the Queen of Villains that we can think of is Netflix's other women wrestling show, Glow, which also happens to be set in the 80s as well. So think of the Queen of Villains as a bloodier, meaner, more aggressive version of Glow, and it's a hell of a crazy ride. Developed, produced, and written by Osamu Suzuki, The Queen of Villains unveils the untold story of Dump Matsumoto, a professional wrestler who ignited a boom in women's wrestling in the 1980s with her cult-like following. Unlike the iconic Crush Gals duo, Chigusa Nagayo and Lioness Asuka, Matsumoto made her mark as the most famous heel. Dominating television screens, they become a cultural phenomenon captivating Japan, starring Urian Retriever, Erika Karata, Ayame Goriki, Ebi-chan, Kyoka Sumida, and Elina Mizuno. One of the things that I like about this show is its depiction of 1980s Japan. You see, us here, we, the American audiences, we are so used to our on-screen depiction of 1980s, with the outfits in such films as Back to the Future or shows like Stranger Things, so on and so forth. So it's fascinating to see what 1980s Japan looked like or may have looked like. And that's what the Queen of Villains gives us. Urian Retriever, wow, holy smokes. If you haven't seen her America's Got Talent video yet, I'd highly recommend you go check that out on YouTube because it's so entertaining. As the lead character Dump Matsumoto, Urian is a force to be reckoned with. Urian embodies this hero's arc from an ugly duckling to a badass pro wrestler with so much passion, so much intensity, so much temper, so much attitude, explosive, loud, and angry. She also crushes the dramatic emotional beats as well. She makes a larger than life wrestling personality even bigger than she already is. Ooh, by the way, the wrestling matches on this show are absolutely brutal. And you know what? Some of those wrestling matches are uncomfortable to watch. And that's coming from me, a lifelong fan of WWE. The grotesque nature is an integral part of the story too. When tensions run high and the lines between scripted and unscripted gets blurred, the choreographies are insane. Kudos to all the actors and the stunt doubles involved. The commitment they show in every sequence, pulling off those finishing moves, is incredible. I hope there were no physical injuries took place during the filming of this show. But yeah, by God, these Japanese women could put Shawn Michaels to shame. Some of the subplots and some of the supporting character dynamics are a bit touch and go. Some of them end up unresolved or have a less than desirable outcome. And some of them goes overly melancholic with very little redeemable values. And even though there are only 5 episodes on this show, it's still 5 episodes too many, in my opinion. And hammering us with the abusive dad over and over again every other half hour or so kinda gets too much after a while. It becomes forced, over the top, and depressing. I understand that that is Kaoru or Dump Matsumoto's motivation, but you don't have to frequently remind us of it to the point of exhaustion. So yes, the story definitely could have been more condensed because some of those episodes just feel needlessly bloated. So yeah, overall I give The Queen of Villains the rating of 3.5 out of 5. Yes, it has its shortcomings. Yes, it's not without its criticism, all of which I've mentioned in this video. But all in all, this is an electrifying show about Japan's female wrestling's most eccentric villain.